நேயர்களுக்கு வணக்கம். சில தினங்களுக்கு முன்பு சீன ராணுவத்தினர் இந்திய எல்லைக்குள் நுழைந்து அவர்களுடைய அட்டூழியத்தை நம் இந்திய ராணுவத்தினர் மீது காட்டியுள்ளனர். அந்த அட்டூழியம் கைகலப்பில் முடிந்தது. எத்தகைய ஆயுதங்களும் இரு பக்கமும் ஏந்தாமல் கைகளால், கற்களால் மற்றும் கண்ணாடி ஓடுகளால் அடித்துக்கொண்டு இருவர்களுக்கும் அதாவது இந்திய ராணுவத்தினருக்கும் சீன ராணுவத்திற்கும் இடையேயான ஒரு யுத்தமே நடந்துள்ளது. இதில் சுமார் 20 இந்திய ராணுவத்தினர் உயிரிழந்துள்ளனர். அது மட்டுமின்றி சுமார் 70 இந்திய ராணுவத்தினர் காயமடைந்துள்ளனர். அதே போல சீன ராணுவத்தை சார்ந்த சுமார் 40 பேர் இறந்துள்ளதாக தகவல்கள் சொல்கின்றன. சரி, இது சம்பந்தமாக நம்முடன் பேச இருக்கிறார் முன்னாள் லெப்டினன்ட் கர்னல் கணேசன் எஸ். ஐயா வணக்கம்.
நேயர்களுக்கு வணக்கம். இப்போ உள்ள கல்வான் வேலி பிரச்சனையை பேசுறதுக்கு முன்னாடி, before we embark upon discussing Galwan Valley fiasco, let us learn history correctly. Before 1912, when we were ruled by Britishers, China was ruled by Qing dynasty. In 1912, Republic of China was formed, and in 1914, I just want to give a small insight into certain major events. 1914, British ruled in India entered into an agreement with the then Republic of Tibet, a kingdom of Tibet, which was an independent country by itself. And Lord McMahon, the representative of British government, signed a treaty which demarcates the boundary between Tibet and India, which is called McMahon line. In the line வந்து அந்த டிபெட்டுக்கும் நமக்கும் ஊடால இருக்கு, இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும் இருக்கு. நவ் 1947 நம்ம சுதந்திரம் அடைஞ்சிடறோம். 1949 நம்ம நாட்டில் இருக்கிற ஜஸ்ட் லைக் அவர் மகாத்மா காந்தி, ஃபாதர் ஆஃப் அவர் நேஷன், they have got Mao Zedong, who was a communist revolutionary who comes to power. In 1949, Republic of China becomes People's Republic of China. From 49 onwards, for the next 20-25 years, Mao Zedong, the founder of PRC, rules China. Now, in 1950, China occupies Tibet. Now, mind you, we have to know very clearly, our treaty of McMahon line was signed between Tibet and India. Today, China claims Tibet never had the authority to enter into a treaty with India, so they will not respect that demarcation. Now, in 1959, Mao Zedong, the founder of People's Republic of China, he visualizes five-finger policy of Tibet. He says Tibet, if Tibet is considered the highest plateau in the world, is considered as the right hand, there are 5 fingers emanating from the palm. One is Ladakh, next one is Nepal, third one is Sikkim, fourth is Bhutan, and fifth is Arunachal Pradesh. He says this entire area belongs to Tibet, and in return it belongs to China, because Tibet itself was a territory of China. That is what Mao Zedong advocated. Now, 1962 war finds China occupying Aksai Chin, which belongs to Turkish Uyghurs, who were native of India in Ladakh. Later on, they bring in that Uyghurs of China, and they claim the entire Ladakh region as theirs. Next, they occupy a portion of Arunachal Pradesh, they said in 1962 war, and the ceasefire, this thing recognized the status quo wherever we have been, that will be identified as line of actual control, which is not demarcated. அத இன்னும் வந்து நம்ம இது பண்ணி மார்க் பண்ணல. But it has been accepted by both sides that this future running along this shall be recognized as line of actual control, wherein both sides will not try to build up any troop this thing presence. In the situation now, what we have to understand, Galwan Valley la or prachana nadandhathu vandu, it is not in isolation. It is not an incident which has to be looked at in isolation, because இது எப்பயுமே Chinese are known for backstabbing, முதுகுல குத்துறவங்க அப்படிங்கிறது. உலகத்துல இருக்கிற எந்த கூட்டணியிலையும் Chinese வந்து they will not accept as a reliable ally. reliable நம்பக்கூடிய ஒரு இதா யாருமே வந்து கருத மாட்டாங்க. China has got a habit of doing this. Now, coming to that border, it has been on for some time. There were certain skirmishes and all this thing. Now, we had a problem with Nepal. The Lippu Lake Pass. The importance of Lippu Lake Pass, I have to tell you now. It is a trade junction where the pass is located, wherein Tibet, this side Nepal, India. This pass gives access to Nepal to reach China inland without going to sea and all. And for us, this pass gives an access to Kailas Mansarovar, which will take otherwise days to reach, but in hours we can reach now. When a road, this Darchula road comes up, which connects through Lippu Lake, நம்ம ஒரு ஹவர்ஸ்ல வந்து கைலாஸ் மான்சரோவர் போயிட்டு வர முடியும். இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும் நம்ம வந்து நேபாள் வழியா போய் 3-4 நாள் சுத்தி ட்ரெக்கிங் பண்ணி அப்படி சுத்தி தான் வர்றோம். சைனாட்ட பெர்மிஷன் வாங்கி. இனிமேல தேவையில்லை இந்த ரோடு வந்துச்சுன்னா. ஸோ இந்த பாஸ் வந்து நமக்கு ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜிக்கலி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் லிப்பு லேக் பாஸ். அதனால நேபாள் வந்து சைனாவோட பேஸ்ட்ல நம்மள வந்து அண்டகனைஸ் பண்ணிட்டு ஒரு மேப் பப்ளிஷ் பண்றாங்க. Even yesterday's news is that Nepalese parliament is divided as to whom to support, China or India. When India as a former ally for so many years, most of them are not willing to take side with China. இது நேத்தைய அந்த இது. இப்ப நம்ம வந்து 1912 இருந்து இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும் ஒரு பேக்ரவுண்ட் நம்ம பேசிட்டோம். இப்ப இந்த இடம் கல்வான் வேலி, it is a god forsaken place. அங்க வந்து ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜிக் இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் எதுவுமே கிடையாது. இத ஏன் இத்தனை நாளா 1962க்கு அப்புறம் இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும் அங்க வர்ற நம்ம சைடுல வர்ற ஒவ்வொரு இன்ஃபென்ட்ரி பட்டாலியனும் இந்தியன் ஆர்மி அந்த இடத்தை பெட்ரோலிங் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. they were dominating the place. It is identified as a line of actual control wherein none of them should dominate. We have been patrolling for last 6 years. Patrol programs are there. Each and every infantry battalion which has come there, they have been doing it. Likewise, even now we have been doing it. Since April or even before that, there were certain problem with the Chinese refusing to recognize this, and they wanted the entire Galwan region, valley region, to be theirs. Now, in the situation, கோர் கமாண்டரோட 2 சைடு கோர் கமாண்டர் மீட்டிங் ஜூன் 6ஆம் தேதி வந்து அவங்க என்ன சொல்லியாச்சுன்னா, we will withdraw from the conflict, இது இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்கிற இடத்துல இருந்து நம்ம சீஸ் இது பண்ணிக்கிறோம், ட்ரூப் ரெடியூஸ் பண்ணிக்கிறோம்னு சொல்லி ஒரு அக்ரிமெண்ட்டுக்கு வந்த பிறகு ஏன் இந்த இன்சிடென்ட் நடக்குது? இங்க வந்து இங்க இன்னொன்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்க வேண்டியது என்னதுன்னா, ஏன் இவங்க ஆர்ம்ஸ் அண்ட் கொண்டு போல அப்படிங்க. as per mutually agreed this thing, we are not supposed to be armed when we are patrolling in the line of actual control, because to avoid escalation of certain things to war. Both the sides were agreeing to this, so it was being followed unscrupulously by the this thing, scrupulously religiously by our army. But China, they known for their treacherous this thing, backstabbing, they brought in modified batons which had barbed wire wound over it. அதை வந்து இதுனாலே அது வந்து it is a weapon. அதை கொண்டு வந்து their strength numerically superior to ours. நம்ம எதுவுமே தெரியாம நம்மளுடைய commanding officer போய் he was seriously attacked, and then another officer goes with some strength thinking that the situation is normal, but they were totally outnumbered. It is not only 16 Bihar regiment, there was another artillery regiment, 3-field regiment, which is totally Sikh based battalion. Both the units, they rushed to the spot, but they were outnumbered because it is a very well planned attack on Indian soldiers. இதுதான் incident.
It happened like a street fight. Am I right?
Yeah, of course. See, it is something like a brawl, a street fight, but we were not at all equipped in the sense avangala mari oru ரொம்ப சீரியஸான வெப்பன்ஸ், அதாவது பேட்டன்ல இது பண்ணி ஒரு மாடிஃபைடு வெப்பன்ஸ் அவங்க கொண்டு வந்து நம்மளை அட்டாக் பண்ண வர்றது வந்து நமக்கு தெரியாது. We were doing our normal routine. We went with the normal rods. Rods are not used to attack. Armies don't fight with the rods and sticks.
Correct.
Armies fight with weapons, and these guys, they never had that this thing. They are not army at all.
It clearly mentions that they had an intention to attack Indians without weapons, with their fabricated weapons which they had. Am I right?
Of course, it was a very well planned thing. They wanted to inflict casualty. At the same time, they wanted to show the world community that they did not use any arms.
Correct.
But it is even more dangerous weapon to and it is disrespecting another soldier. Let him be of any country. You cannot insult a soldier like this.
Correct. Sir, there has been dispute in marking the borders of a country from the day one of our independence, continuing for the past 60 years. இதனால என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, இந்த பார்டர் டிஸ்பியூட் இருக்கும்போது இந்த நெய்பரிங் கண்ட்ரீஸ்ல சைனா, பாகிஸ்தான், எஸ்பெஷலி சைனா அண்ட் எஸ்பெஷலி பாகிஸ்தான், சைனாவோடைய இன்ட்ரூட் பண்றாங்க அவங்க. பாகிஸ்தான், they are infiltrating. This has been continuing for days. Why has this issue not been resolved yet for the past 60 years, sir?
Yeah, nice question. Now the thing is, we have got a different problem with Pakistan. Let us not discuss Pakistan here.
Okay.
Now, as far as the problem with China is concerned, now we have to understand China, a major importer of arms and ammunition till 2010-12. Even last year, they imported for 28 Su-35 from Russia. They don't have any this thing. Now, I want to tell you one thing. Out of the way, I'll tell. See, when you go to the market to buy a cell, that is a battery, pencil cell or whatever, the Chinese cells are available cheaply. Any product, you take it a cell or anything, a Chinese product is available. In this instance, a cell is available for 10 rupees, say. Indian product is available for 50 rupees. But the Chinese product will not last you for more than 1 day. Indian product will last you for 10 days. Any other product. Like this, Chinese have got a cheap technology. They produce cheap and in this thing, quantity. What they might be having a numerical superiority in terms of manpower, equipment, and everything, but we have got quality manpower, quality fighting war equipments, and everything. This one side. This is one thing. Now, China, what our Prime Minister announced, we will make in India and all this thing. Now, recently, China has started this 10 years back. Now, last year they imported only 28 warplanes, but they imported another 450 odd engines for fighter planes to be retrofitted into their own planes. So they want to make their this thing economy also grow and also become stronger. This is in a way they had started doing it. That's another side. Now, this problem of this thing, you asked me, why don't we have a clear demarcation of this boundary
Correct.
to finish it for once for all? Now, there is a long-term objective of Mao Zedong. He says all these fingers are theirs. Now, will it end there? Yeah, grow a superpower China as an Asian superpower who is trying to compete with the United States of America. For him, the only challenge in the Asian subcontinent is from the Indian side. He would never like this issue to be settled. He always wants us to be pressurized, under pressure. அவர் எப்பயுமே நம்மள ப்ரெஷரைஸ் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கணும். அது வந்து இந்த பார்டர் பிரச்சனை லைவா வச்சுட்டே இருக்கணும். Even if you concede. Now, in 1962 war, they occupied a portion of Ladakh, they occupied a portion of Arunachal Pradesh, and then we entered into an agreement where we identified a line of actual control, which we are respecting, and they are not willing to respect. They will not respect. Because they want this problem to be alive. The same thing. Now I'm coming to Pakistan. Pakistan, Kashmir problem, they will not like the Kashmir problem to be resolved. They want that problem to be alive for their interest. அவங்க அது அந்த ப்ராப்ளம் இருந்தா தான் அவங்களுடைய ராணுவம் வந்து பவர்ஃபுல்லா இருக்க முடியும். அவங்க ராணுவம் இல்லாம பாகிஸ்தான் கிடையாது. சோ அவங்களுடைய எக்ஸிஸ்டன்ஸ்க்கு அந்த காஷ்மீர் ப்ராப்ளம் அவங்களுக்கு லைவா வச்சிருக்கணும். இவங்களுடைய எக்ஸிஸ்டன்ஸ்க்கு இந்த லைன் ஆஃப் ஆக்சுவல் கண்ட்ரோல் அந்த இது வந்து பவுண்டரியா மாற விடாம வச்சிருக்கணும். இது வந்து அவங்களுடைய ஃபாரின் பாலிசி.
ஓகே, இப்போ நீங்க இந்தியால பாத்தீங்கன்னா வந்து either the ruling party or the opposition party, they blame each other. அவங்க வந்து ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் இந்த மாதிரி எப்பயாவது ஒரு இஷ்யூ வந்துச்சுனாலே அவங்க வந்து இல்ல இந்த நீங்க ப்ரீவியஸ் கவர்மெண்ட் நீங்க சரியா செய்யலன்றாங்க, இல்லைன்னா இவங்க இல்ல நீங்க செஞ்ச தப்பு அப்படின்னு ஆப்போசிஷன்ல சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க. சேம் திங் கண்டினியூஸ். பட் அவங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் they don't join hands together to resolve the issue. How do you look into this, sir?
So that is our hallmark, Indians' hallmark. Now, I want to put certain facts straight as far as this one Galwan problem is concerned. See, 20 பேர் இறந்துட்டாங்க அப்படிங்கிறது ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட், நம்மளுடைய ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட், நம்மளுடைய ஜவான்ஸ். நான் கேட்கறது 20 பேர் மட்டும்தான் இறந்தாங்களா? இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும் இஸ் தேர் an official statement wherein 4 of our officers and some other ranks, which is to the tune of 20 or 38, have been captured by Chinese side? இத பத்தி ஏதாவது ஒரு அபிஷியல் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் நம்ம இந்தியன் கவர்மெண்ட் கொடுத்ததா? கொடுக்கல. ஆனா நேத்து அவன் ரிலீஸ் பண்ணி இருக்கிறத மட்டும் கொடுக்குறாங்க. நீங்க நேத்து இத வந்து நல்லா பார்க்கணும். நீங்க 15ஆம் தேதி நைட்டு கேப்சர் ஆயிட்டு கிட்டத்தட்ட 60-62 மணி நேரம் 3 நாள் வந்து அவங்க இதுல டார்ச்சர்ல இருந்துட்டு அவங்க ரிலீஸ் ஆகி வந்திருக்காங்க. அதுக்கு அடுத்து பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர் வந்து ஆல் பார்ட்டி மீட் வச்சு பேசுறாரு. ஏன்னா அது இந்த இவங்க ரிலீஸ் ஆகலன்னா இந்த கொஸ்டின் வரும் அப்படிங்கிறது அவருக்கு தெரியும். See, you are stage managing things. You are not fighting with integrity. இது வந்து ஒண்ணுக்கு வன்மையா நான் கண்டிக்கிறது. இதுல நீங்க வந்து இன்னைக்கும் என்ன செய்றீங்க? அவர் பிரைம் மினிஸ்டரோட ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் என்னன்னா, சைனா ஒரு இன்ச்சு கூட எங்க இது ஆக்குபை பண்ணல, எங்க அவுட் போஸ்ட்க்கு வரல அப்படின்னு அவர் சொல்றாரு. சி, நாடு என்பது வந்து வெறும் நிலம் மட்டும் கிடையாது. அவர் சோல்ஜர்ஸ், the army is also part of the country. As a prime minister, head of the state, you have got a duty towards the safety of your own men. What did you do to ensure that they are safe and secure?
Sir, I have a question. Yeah, I have a question where Prime Minister had said, he said that Chinese army did not enter into Indian border. They did not occupy even an inch of our land. If that is the case, how could there been a face-off between an Indian army and the Chinese? What should have been the necessity for it? If they had not entered into India, why should they have this happen?
Yeah, I want to ask the Honorable Prime Minister only one question. Can you tell me which is Indian territory?
That's what I'm also asking.
I am asking the Prime Minister, you tell me which is your Indian territory, which Chinese are ready to accept. You claim that, okay, you now forget the Chinese. You tell me where is Indian territory? Galwan is your Indian territory? If you say so, they are very much in Galwan. And you are claiming that they haven't occupied anything. They are very much, they have constructed their future there. If you say Galwan is not your region, then why are you sending your troops to patrol there? You tell me, you yourself, you are not sure. What are you talking? It is not a game of chess. Valiant, my brother officer, my Jawans are fighting for the country, and you don't give them clear direction. What has to be done? It is a shared intelligence failure. And you don't know what do you want. As a Prime Minister, you tell me what do you want?
Correct.
You claim there is no intelligence failure. They are building up their troops and everything, and you don't have any. You do. I want to ask you a simple question. You conduct a Uri raid, and you come to the press. Everybody in your this thing setup, they come and take credit for this thing, even including your NSA. You get some pictures made, all these things. Now there is a fiasco. You are lost lives. Who is responsible? Where is the accountability? When taking credits, you guys are all ahead. You did not let army take credit for that. Now there is a failure. There is a loss of death. Who is responsible? Who is accountable? Are you ready to take the responsibility? Your NSA will take the accountability. No. You don't know what you want. You want only political. You know only politics. You should only do politics. You should not interfere. Now comes what you have said. You say yesterday in all-party meet that you have given freedom to army. As a Prime Minister, you don't even know what Indian Army wants. You know how Indian Army works? You don't know. Even your CDS or NSA, they haven't advised you. They don't want freedom here. It is a war between two countries. Here we want only orders. Indian Army wants clear orders. What do you want? What is your objective? You let me know your objective, I'll get it for you as an army. You cannot say that I have given you freedom later on to hold somebody as a scapegoat for doing something. You don't know where to give freedom and where to give orders. You are saying you don't give orders freedom in Jammu Kashmir, where insurgents are there, terrorists are roaming freely. There, give freedom to army to eliminate all those things. You don't give freedom because you are bothered about your vote bank. Freedom is given there inside the country when it is dealing with the country which might spiral out into a full-fledged war. There, what any army will require is clear order and objective.
So is the government scared that if we give an order for the Indian Army to proceed, would it affect the Indian trade? Is it the reason he is scared of giving an order? The government getting scared?
See, a war will damage everything. You don't talk about only economy and trade and everything. See, a situation wherein we have lost more than 20 lives and the situation has escalated. Now, you tell me, what do you want? Why didn't you ensure that their lives are safe and everything? Now, you say, now from you asked me, will it affect trade and all this thing? Is it time to think about trade? Are we expendable? I am a soldier. Am I expendable? And your politicians, your bureaucrats are not expendable. No. You cannot fight a war and you cannot have business with them. No, you have to take. That is why I am asking you, what do you want? Honorable Prime Minister of India, you make yourself clear what do you want in the interest of the country. Indian Army will not fail you. You make your intention as a leader, has to make your intentions very clear, crisp and clear. This is my intention. I want this thing to happen. be clearly spoken, outspoken. You don't play politics here, for God's sake.
So the next question is, for the past 60 years, both Congress has been ruling and non-Congress as well as BJP has been ruling for the past 60 years in India. Whenever the ruling party comes, what they used to say is, we have a cordial relationship with China and will resolve the border dispute. This is what, for the past 60 years, when Congress was ruling, they said. The non-Congress VP Singh government or else IK government, when they also came into power, they said that we will have cordial relationship with China and we'll see through the border dispute will be resolved properly. And as the same BJP government also has said, but nothing has happened in the 60 years. How do you think about it?
See, I answered this question already. This problem cannot be resolved unanimously. It has to be bilateral. If both of us should agree to something, which is a win-win situation for both of us, and a clear demarcation of the border should come up. Let it be another 100 years. The vision of China is not to let this dispute settle. If this dispute gets settled, even a smallest violation of the border will invite international pressure on China. So as long as it is not a clear demarcation, they can keep playing with this and they can keep pressurizing India. From இது வந்து எப்படின்னா, இந்த கல்வான் வேலின்றது இப்ப நம்ம ஊர் எடுத்துட்டோம்னா, பக்கத்துல 2 வீட்டுக்கு சண்டை வரும். அதாவது அடுத்தடுத்த வீடு 2 வீட்டுக்கு சண்டை வரும். அது அந்த தெருவுல வேற யாரையும் பாதிக்காது, அந்த ஊரை பாதிக்காது. அவங்களுக்குள்ள உள்ள ஒரு பிரச்சனை மட்டும்தான். மேபி அவன் இங்க இருந்து எதாவது தூக்கி அங்கிட்டு போட்டுப்பாங்க, அதோட முடிஞ்சிடும். ஆனா இது வந்து அந்த மாதிரி கிடையாது. இதே இந்த இடத்துல எந்த பிரச்சனையும் கிடையாது. கல்வான் வேலிங்கிறது வந்து ஒரு யூஸ்லெஸ்ஸான ஒரு இடம். அந்த இடத்துக்காக யாரும் சண்டை போடல. அப்ப it has got a very larger perspective and it has to be given its this thing ultimately. Now your this thing, இந்த பிரச்சனையை வந்து யாருமே செட்டில் ஆகணும் அப்படிங்கிறது அவங்களோட எண்ணம் கிடையாது. நமக்கு வந்து இது செட்டில் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா டு அவர் see இந்த இதுல வந்து 1975ல நம்ம சிக்கிம் வந்து நம்ம யூனியனோட சேர்க்கிறோம். Have they recognized China? China has have they recognized Sikkim as our this thing? Have they recognized entire Arunachal Pradesh as our this thing? Have they recognized Ladakh as our region? They will not. They still want to claim all these portions. Are you in a position to give it or cede it? No, we cannot. We cannot give it away.
Sir, if the bilateral treaty is not considered at the earliest, it is we who are losing our Indian soldiers. So henceforth, the politicians who are ruling should initiate for a bilateral treaty. That is what my question is. Or else we are losing our soldiers. Our precious soldiers are losing their life. That is what my question is.
The same question is from my side also. I am asking the government. You are talking. You have met 18 times in the last 4-5 years. What are you talking? He came to Chennai. The premier of China came to Chennai. What was your interest? I am asking you.
That's my next question.
You got so much of this thing, and you claim that you are a BRIC member, this member, that member, and you say that so many treaties are signed. Why? On what this thing? On which area of interest are you signing treaties? You have got a very, very, very serious problem in hand. And wherein you never got to discuss these things. See, the government, I'm questioning the government. Suppose you don't have this thing, and for you, Indian Army is there, you will chest thumping, you will resort to chest thumping, saying that my valiant soldiers and all these things. But you miserably failed in your duty to ensure their safety. Have you given them clear orders? You tell me. No. What are you up to? I don't know. You are interested only in business, not in the sovereignty of the state. and we soldiers are dying there to save an inch of this thing land. Can you give us some clear directions? In the absence of vision, clear vision and clear orders, these things will keep happening.
Yeah, with continuation to your answer, that is a question. It's the last question of this interview. What I would like to say is, around 6 months back, the Chinese president Xi Jinping came into India and he stayed in Chennai. At the same time, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Chennai, and they both had a talk for a couple of days. Around 2 to 3 days, they had a talk, and everything after the talks was over. When addressing the media, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that we have a good cordial relationship with China, and we will be friends. Our business would continue, our trade would be fine, and we'll resolve our inter-border issues and everything. But his words was very much particular about the trade. But when he spoke about the border dispute issue, it's not yet completed. And within a span of 6 months, the face-off has happened between Indian army and the Chinese army, where we have lost around 20 precious soldiers. What did the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and the Chinese President Xi Jinping speak about? What happened?
See, I am wondering the same thing. It's the thing which I am also wondering. This military matters were not there on the agenda at all. They were discussed, it seems they discussed only trade ties, which our Honorable Prime Minister is interested in. And that problem of Ladakh and further up to Arunachal, there was not even an attempt to resolve this amicably, it seems. I can say it with this thing. And if at all, if there was an attempt, last we are so many years, 60 years, why should we, I am asking, why should not we make an attempt at least to resolve this thing sector-wise all along the LAC? If you cannot address it in totality, I want this thing to be addressed sector-wise and agree to a IB, not LAC. Let there be a clear IB. Now comes the problem. Now, as Indians, are we ready to recognize Tibet Autonomous Region as part of China? No.
No. Obviously no.
So now your answer is here. Now, the entire line of control is along the Tibetan border. How can you enter into an agreement with China? Here, you are already into an agreement with Tibet. So this is the problem. This is the problem. The moment you enter into an agreement here, that means indirectly you are recognized occupation of Tibet by China already. So you cannot. The only viable this thing is, let the leaders take a call on this, whether how to go ahead. What is the international community doing? Since 1950s, Tibet is in lurch. Dalai Lama, we have given asylum to Dalai Lama since 1959 he is here. We annexed Sikkim in 1975, but Tibetans approved that, recognized Sikkim as part of India only in 2003. They were not willing to accept that Sikkim as part of India, despite the fact that Dalai Lama was given refugee in India. So there is a kind of this thing divide. Now this thing in my wisdom, what I think is, we have to take the consensus of majority of international community. If the international community is willing to accept Tibet as part of China, which most of them have already done, Let us take that, concede Tibet, but have a clear demarcation of Indo-China border. This thing is, in my wisdom, that is the only solution. Even then, China would not like to resolve this issue this way. They will still insist on a portion like Arunachal, and they will not say Sikkim. They will not accept Sikkim as part of this thing. They will say entire Ladakh is theirs. So we have to address everything, but in piecemeal.
Sir, I have a small question here. When you go into the social media where the Indian citizens raise their question, as well as few of the politicians also raise a question stating that, why don't you boycott the trade with China? If India boycotts trade with China, will there be any possibility to get the border dispute resolved? Is there any possibility? Will it happen?
Yeah, see, something in the school, we say that a Muslim, you can only boycott. Okay, it gives an impression that they are militarily strong, economically strong, and you want to boycott their economical, because interdependence is there. We are importing the consumption of most of their consumables are consumed in India. The moment you stop importing this thing, they will get affected. Their military spend will be reduced if their economy weakens. Now, see, United States of America, the Honorable President has already directed the American production in China be shifted back to America. So, like this, UK, Australia, France, everybody is coming there. They want to deplete the economic from China. This will, in a way, have a bearing on Chinese outlook, but the solution does not lie there. Solution is not that. We should not lose even a single soldier henceforth.
Correct.
What are you going to do, Honorable Prime Minister of India? I am asking you. You tell me, to tell the people of this nation, what are the steps being taken to ensure that we don't want freedom? Military doesn't require freedom. I want your orders, Honorable Prime Minister of India. This is the solution for the problem.
Thank you, Mr. Ganesan, sir. Thank you. Yeah, tell me.
I would also like to add upon only one more aspect, which is not this thing, which has got nothing to do with the Galwan Valley thing. Maybe I want to request the Honorable Chief Ministers of almost all states, more particularly Tamil Nadu. See, we are losing soldiers in the border. But what are we doing for their families? There is a young widow, destitute widow. There is a parents are there who are old. They have lost a breadwinner. The young children, little children have been orphaned. Only the mother is there. What are you doing towards that? Now, I want to draw the attention of the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu to a couple of announcements by two Chief Ministers. First announcement is by the Honorable Chief Minister of Punjab, Captain Amarinder Singh, who yesterday came forward and so moto announced to enhance the compensation on death of a soldier on the border to 50 lakh rupees and a job, government job, and a residence the next day. And the Chief Minister himself hands over the thing to the victim's family, bereaved this thing.
Instantaneous.
Coming to instantaneous. And next, coming to Telangana, Honorable Chief Minister of Telangana, Chandrasekhara Rao Garu, he announced yesterday a compensation of 5 crore rupees to Colonel Ramesh Babu's wife, bungalow to live in, and a group 1 job for the widow. This is since Colonel Ramesh Babu belonged to Telangana, he gets 5 crore. And he did not stop there. The Honorable Chief Minister announced 10 lakh rupees to any soldier who dies there, irrespective of his state. Now, coming to Tamil Nadu, a police constable dying anywhere in the state, I don't know on whatever occasion, he gets 1 crore rupees. But a soldier dying there in the border, fighting for their country, he gets 10 lakh rupees. That too, the widow has to run pillar to post. Your neighboring state is announcing 5 crore. I want to request the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, please look into this and enhance it to at least 1 crore rupees, a house to live in, and a job to the widow. It will go a long way to help all those Veer Naris, Veera Mangaigal, தன் கணவனை இழந்த வீர மங்கைகள், தன் பிள்ளையை இழந்த தாய் தகப்பன், தன் தகப்பனை இழந்த குழந்தைகளுக்கு உதவியாக தயவு செய்து உங்களை தாழ்மையுடன் பணிவன்புடன் நான் கேட்டுக்கிறேன்.
Thank you, Mr. Ganesan sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.